When some people talk about the creation of plantation society, I think about the creation of slave labor camps. That's what these are. The people are enslaved, they're laboring, and they're in a camp. If you could cope with the moral obscenity of it, you could become extremely rich. And that sort of bargain with the devil was one that was made very early by these southern would-be planters.
As soon as enslaved Africans were brought to colonial America, they resisted, they fought back, and they ran away.
Would they go willingly into a situation of perpetual racial servitude? No way.
Parents try to be reunited with children. Children struggle to be reunited with parents by running away, but not necessarily running towards freedom in the abstract, but by running towards family members that for them represent safety and security.
To stem the financial loss of slaves who escape, for whatever reason, South Carolina begins to experiment with different ways for catching them. At first, neighbors are asked to volunteer. Rewards are given to those who capture runaways. When this fails, the legislature passes a law in 1690 that mandates all whites to serve as slave hunters, requiring the entire white population of South Carolina to be a racial police force. Those who refuse to serve are fined. In cities like Charleston, night watchmen are paid to keep an eye out for slaves who violate curfew. They even try using their militia. Then, in 1704, the colony tries something new. They begin to experiment with small makeshift groups of citizen police called patrols. If the colony's system for catching slaves is inconsistent and uncertain, the punishments aren't. Runaways who are caught are brutally whipped. Their noses sometimes slit.
They were branded with hot branding iron on various parts of their bodies, sometimes on the shoulders, sometimes on the back, sometimes on the cheek, sometimes on the forehead. They were branded with the letters of the owners. They were branded with R for runaway.
In 1722, South Carolina, with the consent of some leaders of the Baptist Church, passes a law requiring all male runaways to be castrated.
You have to make it very clear that I own you and I own you for life, and I'm going to own your children and your children's children. And the repercussions of running away or resisting is physical. It's much more brutal than we understand.
In the 1730s, slaves in Jamaica rise up in rebellion and massacre their white owners. During the same time, Africans massacre 2,000 white families on St. John's Island, also in the Caribbean.
18th century South Carolina is a pressure cooker. The whites realize that they're outnumbered, and yet the people in charge are making so much money. It is so profitable that they're willing to run extreme risks.
South Carolina holds its breath. Slaveholders have made a deal with the devil. They had made themselves rich off the backs and brains of their slaves. But in doing so, they had put their own lives at risk, and they were about to trigger one of the largest slave rebellions in the colonies.